Good morning. I'm Debbie Martinez. I served on the Homeless Task Force in 2001, and as a former downtown business owner and a registered nurse, I understood the needs of this challenging population then as I do now. The Homeless Empowerment Center and the adjacent campground and the campground that's adjacent to the center has been fraught with problems and continues to be. GPD has received over 90 calls for services for meth labs, alcohol, drugs, prostitution, and violence. I believe the vast majority of the problems could have been avoided. Citizens warned elected officials not to issue an RFP for a provider to manage the homeless center until a comprehensive plan was put into place with appropriate rules and regulations. Unlike the Homeless Empowerment Center, the St. Francis House and the Salvation Army require police clearances for individuals with outstanding warrants and sexual predators and sexual offenders in order for them to receive meals and services. And they are not allowed to be on the premises drunk or intoxicated on other drugs. Billions of our tax dollars have been spent on this Homeless Empowerment Center project that houses only 21 people indoors, 40 people in the outside covered pavilion, known as the wet pavilion. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought somebody needed to come up here. Let me repeat it. Millions of tax dollars have been spent on the Homeless Empowerment Center project that houses only 21 people indoors, 40 people in the outside covered pavilion, known as the wet pavilion, where those who are drunk are allowed to seek overnight shelter, men and women. And 80 people are camping adjacent to the center on the state forestry land next to Takachali. The campers have campfires and generators, and that raises another safety concern. I heard last week that one man set another man's tent on fire because he was on, evidently what was reported that he was on an alcohol and drug-induced rage. Safety should be always and should have been our first priority. A few weeks ago, on the coldest night of the year, only 26 people chose to seek shelter, emergency shelter, at the Empowerment Center. The rest of the people went to the St. Francis House, where they require police clearances. Even the homeless want to feel safe. According to the data presented to the City of Gainesville, only 46% of the homeless people receiving services at the Empowerment Center actually reside in Alachua County. The rest of the people came from outside the county and the state. News travels far and wide when there is an anything-goes environment for free camping, free food, free laundry facilities, and much more. We cannot afford to be a magnet for the homeless people to come from outside the county and the state to receive all these free services. We need to have a safe and professional environment for those in need living in our community. And without a holistic approach like they had in Jacksonville, we will continue to be an enabling center rather than an empowerment center. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you. Konish?
Mr. Chair, Jim Konish, Treasurer of Citizen Coalition PAC. Not content with single-handedly taking down your sales surtax, not content with being integral in a meaningful, hopefully meaningful investigative audit of GRU, and not content with defeating the folly of two-laning 8th Avenue between 34th Street and the Hill. We are now turning our attention to the Grace Marketplace. On our website, citizencoalitionpac.org, we will be displaying these pictures that I showed you in a previous meeting, and we will be shooting video of Camp Dignity. The state is establishing a 1,000-acre state forest adjacent to Camp Dignity. You have invited guests to invade state property and camp on state land with absolutely no oversight. The original justification was it was hot and they needed to be in the shade. Well, now it's cold. They'd be a lot more comfortable in the fence where we can keep an eye on them. I demand that you get these people off of state land, get them inside the fence, and supervise them so we know what's going on. Thinking that I might want to camp on state land and eventually lay claim to it, I happened to take a look at the rules regarding camping on state land. It's safe to say that every single applicable rule is being trampled completely. Camp dignity is not contemplated on state lands, and I'm encouraging the state to do something about it. As you pour scarce resources that should be going into road repair into this boondoggle, you might want to take a look at the license agreement and the service agreement, because you would find out that the contractors who are well connected with the DEC are in violation of virtually every substantive provision of these contracts, starting with putting the GRU bill in their name. They are not upholding their end of the bargain, and it is crystal clear they're not upholding their end of the bargain. And one reason is you're giving them $330,000 and two people are skimming off $110,000 in salary, which is a little bit of a problem. I would like to read to you a letter I sent to Ms. Erin Gillespie, Press Secretary for Adam Putney, who has jurisdiction over this land you've invaded. Thank you for your prompt attention to what we see as a true public safety emergency. We doubt if either the Alachua County Sheriff or the Gainesville Police Department will protect your interests due to local politics. We recommend that you utilize state law enforcement resources, get these people off the state land before they despoil it further, and force them inside the compound so you can take full responsibility for this morass you've simply transferred from private land onto state land. Thank you.
Thank you.